Good morning. It's your boy, Mr. Butler. It's the best day of my life. Tomorrow's not promised. Let me get you to like, subscribe, share, comment, man. Here's the situation, man. I just had a conversation once again. I think the Breakfast Club was talking about Young Thug and some girl that he talking to. I'm not sure what her name is. No disrespect to her. So the topic was, staying down with somebody that's locked up. And it was a decent interaction with, people called in and gave their testimony. But there was one young lady on there who was like, she said her uncle had been locked up and had gave her the game, and he gave her the inside scoop, and that anybody that has ever done 5 years or more is a homosexual. They've interacted, and that's why they can't be faithful in a relationship. And I've responded to because I guess that's the number for certain people, 5 years, and then I guess you got to be gay. Here's the thing. 2 points I want to make is this. I think that it is irrational and illogical to categorize an entire population of people based on what your uncle told you or what your perception. It's like me saying that, oh, every female with a lace front got 3 baby daddies. Cause I know 3 females that got lace fronts that got 3 baby daddies. That's just the people that I know that I've been exposed to. What I will say is that you can't put a lot past a lot of people, and a lot of people lie. But when I tell you that there are people that in chain gang now, and it don't matter how much time you give them, they're not gonna interact with a homosexual. They're not gonna transition to homosexuality. That's just not the way that humans operate. I'm not saying that it's not a bunch of homosexuals in prison. I'm not saying that after 5 years, the probability doesn't go up. But you can't say that just because a person has done 5 years that they are homosexual. It's just not realistic, bro. It's not realistic at all. And I use, if I'm talking to an individual, because sometimes I interact with people and they don't know I've been to prison. They don't know the extent to which I've been to prison. They don't know I've done a decade in chain gang. I have never interacted with a male. I'm not sexually attracted to men. It don't matter how much time you give me, I'm not going to interact with a man. I will live and die without interacting with a man. It's just not in me. It's not on me. It's not beside me. I'm not knocking nobody, but it doesn't matter. A certain amount of time does not make me, it's not going to alter my heterosexuality. And for a person to think that it's just, I guess, I have to take into consideration their perception and their age, but it is wild to generalize an entire population of people just based off what your uncle told you, but it's just simply not true. Now, one thing I will say is this, is that there are a bunch of people who interact in homosexual activities that are not open, that have been in jail. There are a lot of them. And in some of my earlier videos, I've talked about that hidden code. You're not supposed to never talk about, if I know that you're a homosexual, I know that you was doing homosexual stuff in prison, I'm never supposed to talk about it. I'm never supposed. And for the most part, except for one situation, and I didn't put the person on Front Street. I spoke to somebody that asked me to find out. I found out. I reported to that person because of the understanding that we had. If I had the opportunity to do that again, I wouldn't do it. It just goes against the code. When I say it goes against the code, it goes against you. It's hard to say. It's so hard to say. But there are situations where, and as opposed to exposing the truth, it's just better to just mind your own business. Just mind your own business, because you're not gonna do nothing but make people hate you and dislike you and not want to be associated with you. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Sometimes you just got to shut your mouth and mind your business. So from here on out, boy, it's not none of my business. It's not, and I've always operated by that code as well. I had a situation where my homeboy had came home. He was doing whatever he was doing while he was in chain gang. I'm not gonna say no names, but that's what he was known for. In the same way, I'm cool with homosexuals on the street. I'm cool with homosexuals that was in chain gang. And if you don't want your story to be told, bro, I'm not telling your story. So, but his old lady, I had got cool with her, not no crossing no line, no disrespect, just got cool with her. So I used to talk. So when they used to be having issues, we might talk, but I'll let bro know, hey, I'm talking to her. You don't want me to talk to her, bim, bim, bim. And then one day, she found some letters from a guy that was still in chain gang. They was still writing each other. So my man was gay while he was there, came home, was interacting with a female. This was his baby mama. And then she found the letters. She called me. She was like, Butler, you got me interacting with this FN and such. I said, man, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. And then I met him before I met you. So I'm not in the situation where every time he meets somebody, I'm gonna run up and be like, oh, this, man, that ain't none of my business, man. And I just found that through naturalistic observation, bro, what I found is this right here. Hey, man, stay out these folk business. Stay out these people business. Stay out their business. It don't have nothing to shut up. It ain't none of your business. What I will say is this right here. Now, if you my sister or you some kin to me and I see you with somebody, I'll bring it closer. If you were my child, or you my sister, my niece, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Hey, that's an FN. That's an FN. So in that aspect, I can respect the act of somebody that I exposed to the information. But seeing the overall picture of it, if I could redo it again, I wouldn't have said nothing, because it just caused more confusion than anything. And then you just never know how people react. You'll expose somebody, not trying to expose them. Man, them folks will blow your head off, man. Them folks will see you in traffic and be like, oh, you said these, when a lot of people have homosexual acts in chain gang, bro, and they come home, they suppress a whole lot of that stuff, man. They act like that stuff never happened. So for you to expose them, the only thing you just did was you just gained the enemy. You really just got, from a strategical perspective, you just gained the enemy. And people will kill you behind that, bro. I mean, nowadays, it's kind of like cool with everybody, but you guys are people that they gonna be like, oh, we standing on business over here. You standing on business now, but you was sitting on, you was sitting on business. You was sitting on business, or you had somebody sitting on your business, or whatever it is. But everybody that's done 5 years or more is not a homosexual. A lot of people are. I think that when dealing with anybody, wearing a lace front or somebody that they've been in prison, you have to deal with them from an individual perspective. And also, I want to say this. Somebody know what you did last summer. Somebody know what you did last summer. Maybe it was 20 summers ago. Maybe even 30 summers ago. But somebody know what you did last summer. So if you really want to know, in my Pimp C voice, you really want to ruffle some fellas, you can find out. You really can find out. Those are just the facts. And you probably won't have nobody tape recorded, but you know, especially in the state of Georgia. If you really want to find out, you can find out. A lot of people don't really want to find out. They'll speculate and say this and say that, man. But at the end of the day, man, listen, live your best life, man. Inhale after you exhale. Today is the best day of my life. It's the best day of your life, because tomorrow's not promised. You might as well do your little dance while they playing your song. And have at it, man. Live your life, man.